Sleep looks harmless, yet every night you leave your body behind. Learn the route, and tomorrow you'll wake carrying answers most people never find. The book on my desk describes that route in precise stages. No candles, no chanting, only a map of where your awareness moves while muscles lie still. You will hear its core tonight. First, the departure. Breathing slows, eyelids close, and your attention loosens from skin and bone. That slip is automatic. You cannot cancel it. Call it the mandatory journey. While the chest rises and falls, the part of you that thinks, chooses, and remembers crosses a threshold science still pretends is blank. Ancient Egyptians sketched the threshold as a doorway. Tibetan adepts drew it as a river. Indigenous elders spoke of a night road trodden by every soul. Different symbols, single fact, you travel. You already know the hints. An idea greets you at dawn, complete though you never planned it. A face from nowhere feels familiar. A mood settles that matches nothing in your day. These traces prove the trip. The second stage is tethered motion. An energetic filament, called the silver cord in dozens of traditions, keeps body and awareness aligned across distance. Sensors cannot detect the cord, yet millions feel it snap when a nightmare drops them back into flesh. The cord matters because it lets you explore without risking return. Every insight, every meeting, every scene you witness travels home through that strand. Forget comic images of glowing ropes. Think of a data cable. You upload experience, download instinct. Stage 3, landing zones. Your attention does not drift randomly. It gravitates to layers matching your current signal. Anger drags you through chaotic scenes. Gratitude lifts you into clear expanses where guidance waits. Change the signal and you change the landscape. Stage 4, re-entry. The moment consciousness reattaches, memory begins to fade. Without training, by the time shoes touch the floor, the journey feels like fog. The good news, you can train recall quickly. Why bother? Because the book points to a payoff you can test within a week. Deliberate recall multiplies creative insight, reduces obsessive thought loops, and accelerates emotional healing. Retrieve one fragment nightly, and patterns that trap you in daylight start dissolving. You begin tonight. Sit on your bed before sleep. State one clear intention. I will notice where I am when awareness returns. Nothing mystical, just direction. When morning light arrives, stay still 10 seconds, eyes closed. Catch the first picture, phrase, or feeling. Write it before coffee. Done daily, the trail strengthens. As you practice, you may wake at 3 a.m. instead of dawn. Do not curse the clock. Humanity long thrived on biphasic sleep. First rest, silent waking, second rest. That middle window is thin ice over deep water. Stay quiet on the ice and scenes beneath will show through. Lucid dreams, out-of-body slips, clear voices that vanish by sunrise. Modern lighting crushed the window. Revive it and the map in the book turns vivid. The last point for tonight, travel is reciprocal. You meet presences, guides, ancestors, parallel selves, because they stand on adjoining frequencies. Some uplift, some challenge. Each encounter extends a choice. Bring the lesson back or repeat it tomorrow. Memory decides. Memory fades fast, yet the first seconds after waking still carry a clear print of where you have been. If you stay motionless and let that print settle before thought scatters it, even a single image can linger long enough to be written down. A doorway appears, or the taste of salt, or a sentence that makes no sense in daylight. Each is a breadcrumb on the map. Most people lose the trail because they roll out of bed too quickly. The body moves, the mind snaps into schedules, and the silver cord's download dissolves. Remaining still for a breath or two buys enough time for a whisper to become a sentence on paper. You will be surprised how rapidly those sentences expand when recorded the moment they surface, without judging grammar or logic. Dream fragments hold more than pictures. They arrive wrapped in mood. A heaviness under the ribs, a calm curiosity behind the eyes, an unearned rush of gratitude. Those feelings are telemetry from the journey. Naming them aloud anchors the memory far better than silent recall. Later, when you read a line that says only green hallway, the emotional tag will pull up the full scene. Patterns emerge within a week. Repeated colors, certain locations, recurring strangers who seem to know you. Each pattern shows which layer of the night road you most often visit and which decisions in daylight draw you back there. Not every clue waits for sunrise. Sometimes the cord tugs at 2 or 3 in the morning, the old middle night pause that electricity chased from modern life. When that happens, most people reach for a screen or wrestle the pillow. A quieter option is to let the room stay dark and listen. In those 20 or 30 minutes, the veil is almost transparent. Awareness hovers between worlds, relaxed enough to receive images intact yet alert enough to imprint them. Many vivid lucid dreams begin exactly in that window, entered not by effort but by willingness to rest in half-wakefulness. Parallel timelines often reveal themselves during these pauses. You might stand in a city you have never visited yet know the street names, or speak fluent phrases of a language you have never studied. Such scenes are not random inventions. They are excursions into branches of reality shaped by different choices, roads your life could have taken and can still approach if you tune to their frequency. The signal is intention. A clear reason to visit a version of yourself who finished a stalled book or learned unshakable calm steers the next departure better than any technique. The cord transmits priority, and intention writes that priority into its current. Translating symbolism requires a single question asked quietly while rereading the notes. What present-day decision carries the same feeling as this dream scene? A locked door felt frustrating. Which project is stuck in similar tension? An endless staircase felt exhilarating. Where in waking life does momentum already exist but lacks direction? Symbols stop being riddles when matched with the emotional contour of real choices. Keep at the practice and recall sharpens. The act of noticing, writing, and matching feeling to action teaches the unconscious that its messages matter. Within a few nights the fog lifts. Within a week entire dialogues return. Then daytime begins to mirror the night. The idea found at dawn flows into a meeting and solves a problem no spreadsheet could. An irrational dread of a certain street evaporates after recognizing it as the backdrop of a turbulent dream and adjusting the underlying choice it mirrored. The map described in the old book warns that guidance in used soon dulls, not because the night withdraws but because consciousness stops listening. Acting on even a minor fragment, drinking the extra water glimpsed in a vivid scene, placing a phone call that a dream emotion hinted was overdue, keeps the channel clear. Action completes the circuit. Beneath all these details lies one principle. The journey is constant, only your memory of it varies. Treat the first seconds after waking as sacred, honor the middle night window when it opens, give each fragment a place on paper, and allow small daytime moves to acknowledge what the night revealed. Do this and the silver cord carries more than instinct. It begins to return full stories. In the next section we will step into that midnight threshold, the launchpad our ancestors knew by heart, and see why the work accomplished there shapes the energy you bring into every room long after sunrise. Midnight silence once belonged to everyone. Long before streetlights and glowing screens, people slipped under blankets soon after dusk, slept a few hours, then woke in darkness that felt alive. They tended embers, whispered prayers, wrote sudden verses, or simply sat while the world held its breath. That pause was not insomnia, it was doorway. The body remained heavy with delta waves, yet awareness hovered close to waking, a perfect balance for crossing. Those who lingered in that hush reported dreams vivid as daylight and meetings that felt more solid than their own shadow at noon. They returned to bed before dawn and rose again, carrying guidance that shaped planting, healing, counsels, wars. Modern life stitched the two sleeps into one. The doorway stayed but we stopped using it. Now the cord still tugs at 2 or 3 in the morning, but the blue glow of a phone blinds the inner eye. Resist the glow once and the hush returns fast. In that liminal stretch, perception widens enough to hear the current beneath thought. A question that nagged you for weeks can answer itself there without words, only a click of certainty behind the breastbone. During the deeper stretches of night, work unfolds that no job title lists. Some nights you steady a frightened face in a gray corridor, breathe calm into its panic, and wake with unexplained fatigue. Other nights you stand in a circle of strangers who speak without sound, sharing images that flood you with warmth too large to name. The physical body knows nothing of these missions, yet emotion leaks through at dawn, a quiet joy, a heaviness, an odd nostalgia. Treat those feelings as real, and courage or patience borrowed from the night starts showing in your voice. Ignore them and the daytime self stays smaller than its design. Encounters are not always gentle. Shadows approach wearing familiar habits you suppress by day. They press close until you face the pattern. Dream logic stages the confrontation in alleys, rooftops, flooded rooms, settings chosen for emotional precision rather than realism. Wake up sweating, remember the hallway of mirrors, and somewhere in daylight the impulse to hide a flaw softens. Healing often begins in places your heartbeat cannot disturb. Symbols do the heavy lifting. A train that never stops, a child handing you a locked box, the same narrow bridge appearing month after month. They are not riddles, they are compressed messages. Meaning unpacks when you notice how the symbol feels rather than what it illustrates. The bridge arrives with shaky knees and wind in the ears, pointing to a real decision that requires balance. The train thunders with momentum you resist. Accept the sensation, and daylight choices align before analysis begins. With practice, the line dividing wake and sleep blurs. Inspiration flashes at noon the way it once did only at dawn. Déjà vu stops feeling spooky. It becomes confirmation that the night work and the daylight path have synchronized. You start closing laptops a few minutes earlier, dimming lights, letting the room fall quiet so the body signals will soften. Not ritual, practical calibration. The easier the slide into the journey, the clearer the return. As pages of the book promise, memory grows by respect. Write fragments even when they seem bland, and the night answers with detail. Read them with an open body, and the emotion under the ink reactivates the scene. Act on a single hint, call someone, change a route, spend an evening in stillness, and the cord thickens, carrying more data next time. Guidance unacted fades, not by punishment but through disuse. The map rewards movement. You do not need new equipment or rare herbs. Darkness, breath, paper, attention. The same tools used for millennia remain enough. Lie down tonight aware that sleep marks departure, not erasure. Should the room wake you mid-cycle, listen instead of scrolling. Should dawn bring an uninvited memory, hold it 10 seconds longer before rising. Small shifts, big currents. When the book describes the final stage, it speaks of a traveler who stops mistaking the road for the destination. Night and day weave one fabric. Consciousness moves, body rests, lessons cross the thread. Live that weave for a week in ordinary time feels wider. Live it longer and fear of the unknown, including the last unknown called death, begins to crumble. Departure is practice, return is integration, and every morning is proof that the cord still holds. Tonight the door opens again. Step through with a little more awareness, and tomorrow you may wake carrying the blueprint your daylight self has been searching for.